Hi everyone, today I'm sharing an update on my seedlings, tackling some maintenance to keep them happy, and picking out the seeds I'm excited to start in February. Let's get ready for a fresh season of growth. Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden. And before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with a fellow gardening friend. Okay, interestingly enough, for the last week, I have actually been on a cruise with my husband and our best friends who live in the Austin area. We've been planning this for well over a year, and I'm very grateful to my mother-in-law and my parents who helped hold down the fort with all three of my kids and an additional 5 adults, additional parents helping out. It literally took 8 people to take care of my children for the last week. So, very grateful to them. It was very relaxing. I'm sure you're not surprised. I did tons of research for current videos coming up in the next week. So I'm super excited about that. But I have been away from my seedlings for 9 days. And so I thought this would be a really good time to go ahead and do a seedling update and show you what all is happening. Okay, so we started seeds in December. We've started petunias, we've started geraniums, we have lots of propagated things I'm going to show you as well. We have tons of cut flowers, we have, oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff. So what I want to do is I want to go through seedling by seedling and show you what is going on with each of them. There are lots of successes and there are some failures as well. And so I'll show you the failures. I'll talk about some of the issues I'm having. There's some damping off issues, which I think will be interesting for some of you all. There's some insect issues. There's a lot. So let me show you what's going on. Okay, so you're not going to see a lot of my face in this video because I really just want y'all to have a lot of close-ups of the plants. So right here we have geraniums. We have 3 or 4 different varieties. Let me see what we got. Right over here, we have a geranium violet, which doesn't look very violet to me. It is, I will say, it looks a little red. I will say towards the inside of the flowers, there's definitely more of a purple magenta tone. So I think that as these mature, they will begin to change. So from here to here is all one particular variety of geranium, and all the violet geranium. You can see that one group is doing far better than the other one. Since I've potted them up into their larger containers, they are doing so much better. They look really, really good, and they've grown a lot. This particular variety over here is apple blossom, which is looking really nice. Let me just see. And I've got one random apple blossom over this way, but they're all filling out really good. Like I said, once I really got them potted up to the next level, they've done nicely. And then the rest of this variety over here is a salmon Maverick. Oh, excuse me. Salmon Maverick right there, which are all looking really good. Now, we do not want flowers blooming right now. We really want to just concentrate on growing, beautiful root systems. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to deadhead and cut out basically the flower spikes right there. But it is good to know that they're looking so good. I mean, truthfully, I can probably start creating some containers in probably about 6 weeks, which is insane to me. But those are looking really nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim them off. Everything's looking really good. We're also going to talk about fertilizing at the very end of this video. Okay, we have a mix of things happening here. Over here in this area, this is all petunias, and I actually already did a massive petunia cutback, which I'll show you in a minute. So we'll get back to these. These are Prism Sunshine and Tickled Pink, which are looking really nice. There's a little bit of some blooms trying to come up here, so I'm just gonna cut those back a little bit. I hate the stickiness of petunias. It drives me bonkers. Over here, this area right here is petunias as well. Specifically, I'm going to go ahead and cut in a little bit. You can see one coming up. This one is Shockwave Deep Purple. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut off those blooms right there. Now, right here, I've got Prairie Sun Rudbeckia, which is looking really nice. It looks like we started these on the 17th of December. So they're just over a month old, looking really good. All the petunias we started on the 8th of December. So those are, some of them are smaller, some of them are larger, like this petunias and those petunias right there. Right back over here is more Rudbeckia. This is Sahara Rudbeckia, looking really beautiful, gorgeous. We're probably getting close to needing to start potting up the Rudbeckia. I'm not going to do that today, but it is something I need to look at. Over here, we have Marvelette Blue Calamintha, which I've actually already done some trimming on, and I'm about to just go in here and just do some trimming on it. It's a little leggy in some places. So I just want to go in and trim, and then this will force the plants to branch out, which is going to make them bushier, fuller plants. Because obviously we're not ready to plant these up. So those are looking really good. And the Calamintha was started on the 17th of December as well. These are all looking really nice. I don't see really any issues. I'm not going to change the traps. The traps are not in bad shape, which makes me feel really good. That means we don't have a ton of fungus gnats happening, but these all look really nice. So let's look at some more. Okay, I recently did a massive cutback on my petunias before I left for vacation. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like right now. And with that being said, doing all that work, you can see that I did expose some of the leaves to sun that they weren't really used to. So this Shockwave Deep Purple definitely has struggled a little bit. You can see some of its leaves have been like, it's a lot of light that it's not really used to. I am going to try to really kind of focus and make sure if I see any additional blooms starting to come up, then I'm just going to give them a little bit of a trim back, staying on top of that. But everywhere I did massive trims, you can see all these little bitty leaves starting to come up, which is perfect. That means they are branching out, which is exactly what we want to happen because it's going to give us fuller, more lush plants. So we've got over here, we've got Super Cascade Rose. They were started on the 8th. All the petunias were started on December 8th. Prism Sunshine, Prism Sunshine. This one is more Super Cascade Rose. This is more Super Cascade Rose. And then over here, I'm not really seeing any of my labels, which does not bode well. I am going to come in here and trim off some of these shoots that are coming up that are obviously trying to put on some blooms. But you can see a little bit of some damage. Oh, here's a thing. Double Cascade Mix. I think that's this whole container is Double Cascade Mix. So it'll be interesting to see what colors these turn out. But looking really good. I do see some yellowing on the leaves. That's from more exposure to light than it's used to. And even over here, the Shockwave Deep Purple, it is putting off newer, prettier leaves. So I think it'll end up being fine. I do think that these definitely need to be fertilized. That's why you see a little bit of yellowing in the leaves. They've potentially been a little more overwatered and it needs some nutrients in there. All right, here's another round of seedlings right here. Over here to the side, we have our Karigami Oregano, which we started on January 8th. You can see everybody's looking really good there, coming up nicely. Still too small to pot up to the next level. Then right here we have Cherry Brandy Rudbeckia, which we started on December 17th, looking good. And definitely, probably this next week, I'm going to need to go ahead and pot all my Rudbeckia up to the next size. Right here we have Sea Lavender, which was started on December 16th, and its leaves are so fun and interesting. I'm kind of obsessed with them, but that one's looking really good. I do think that that one looks like it's about ready to be potted up to the next level as well. Over here we have some Lemon Thyme, which was started on January 8th. And I know these seem really little, but I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to clip off just the tips of them and see if I can't get these to start branching out a little bit. Not taking very much at all, like literally a 1/4 inch off the top of them. Just like that, pretty simple. The dead parts will just fall to the side. I just wanted to get these to start branching out a little bit. But the time was started on January 8th. And then we have Gerber daisies, which were also started on January 8th. And it looks like we had 4 that did not germinate over here. But these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that we have look really, really good. So those are fun. I'm really excited about the Gerber daisies. I hope they work out. And if they do, I would love to start more next year. Okay, more seedlings. This over here is Creeping Daisy, and these were started on, I think, the 3rd, January 3rd, and they're looking really nice and very pretty. I think these are getting close to being needed to pot it up to the next level. Right here we have Forever Silver Status, which was started on the 3rd, and it is definitely ready to be potted up to the next level. Looks like we need to do a lot of potting up. I'll probably do a whole video on potting up, I think. This right here is Mesa Peach Gaillardia. They were started on January 10th. They are looking beautiful. They had some that didn't germinate well. 1, 2, 3. I guess that one kind of germinated, but still looking really good, especially for perennials. Right here we have Rose Queen Cleome, which is doing lovely and definitely ready to be potted up to the next level as well. This was started on January 4th. Smells kind of peppery, smells good. And then back here we have Jupiter's Beard Mix, which is a perennial for me. And these were started on December 17th. And they are just looking absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can really see, the Cleome is so tall. These are looking really, really nice. And these definitely also need to be fertilized. Now, why I have here, I have an open spot. I'm going to go ahead and pull over. This is my Saponaria. And the Saponaria is doing okay. We didn't have very good germination for the white, and I do have damping off right here to the side, and I'll put a picture of what damping off looks like. Basically, the stem rotted right at the soil line, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out. And we do have some where the leaves got like stuck in the seed, so I kind of pull that off too in hopes that it does okay. So Saponaria has done meh, okay. I went ahead and took it out of the container, so I just keep everything in one large container. Now the Saponaria was started on January 10th. Okay, and right here we have all my lantana propagation, all my cuttings. And I was dealing with this. I had a massive infestation not too long ago, and I don't know, that video might come out later after us talking here. And I ended up doing an alcohol solution, which has worked really good. But I do see a few more areas where I see some of the mealybugs coming up. So I am coming in here with my alcohol and water and dealing with that, a little bit of that. And I'm just keeping the alcohol and water on hand. And just whenever I see, and it's so much less than it was, I gotta tell you, and last time all of these little sticky traps were covered in the little white flies that are the mealybugs. So we are making progress in combating them. That's looking good. But really excited to have all this lantana for this next year, especially since I didn't pay anything for it. It was just all cuttings, all propagation. Okay, so over here is a propagated stuff. I've got some heirloom chrysanthemums right here that actually look like they are dealing with a little bit of the mealybug infestation as well. Oh, and it looks like the mealybugs have gone into the Tradescantia. Let me turn this for you so you can see some of the white on the Tradescantia. The Tradescantia is so robust. I'm not super worried about it. I am going to go ahead and make a little bit more alcohol and water solution real quick. There's also a little bit of dish soap in here. And we're just going to come in and we're just going to spray down. These Tradescantia are doing beautifully. They're going like crazy. I think I might do a little bit of trim back for anything that's going a little too wild. Well, some of these are pretty long. These are definitely going to be big, beautiful plants by the time I get to plant them out. Specifically, they're going to be focused on my shade garden and front porch. We had some really intense weather while I was gone, and very low temps. I am going to take y'all outside as well and give you an update on my winter sowing. This particular variety of Tradescantia is Velvet Hills. And then I also have some Swedish ivy, which is looking good. I don't see any pests or issues with it. Let me move this out of the way and then let's look at the mums. So this is a grape queen and it has a ton of the, what do you call it? Mealy bugs on it. So I'm going to hit it really hard. It's not looking overly healthy. This one, yes, there are some. Basically, this alcohol solution also has a little bit of dish soap in it. It dissolves the coating on the outside of the mealybugs. Definitely some tucked in here. More mature plants don't struggle as much, but these little seedlings have a hard time. So we'll go ahead and treat these and then stay on top of it. See those there. And then stay on top of it. And, oh yeah, look at this. Let me just take that leaf off. Look at that. That's bad. That's real bad. We're going to take off some of these leaves right here. I'm going to take off all these big ones. Yeah, that was a lot. Wow. And this basically dissolves all of their outer coating. Okay, we'll try to keep going with these. Now down here I have some additional heirloom chrysanthemum cuttings that I propagated and that are looking really well. We are going to go ahead and give them some trim. We're going to trim them back some. And a lot of these I'm not actually growing for my garden. I'm growing them for my friend Kristen's garden. She likes heirloom chrysanthemums as well. And I wanted to experiment and see if I could do it. And I have been able to do it. I think some varieties are better than others. The Grape Queen has struggled. But these varieties over here, let me see if I've got them labeled, which I don't think I do because that would be awesome. Oh, here's one. Coral Cavalier. It's done really, really well with propagation, which is exciting. So I'm just going through and taking some of the taller parts off, and just helps it continue to work on more, sorry, I'm checking this out. It helps it to work on more root system instead of flowers. It looks good. And then over here is just Christmas cactus and stuff like that. Okay, and then right here is more Swedish ivy. This is just your standard Swedish ivy, which is going bonkers and looking good. Actually, just gonna come through. And truthfully, all of these cuttings, like all this trimming I'm doing on this Swedish ivy, could totally be turned into more plants. But obviously you can see from how voracious these are, I don't need more plants. They're doing fine. So I'm just going to do a little trimming on these. And then over here, this Swedish ivy is a variegated Swedish ivy, and it's really growing with more of an upright habit, which is really interesting. I'm still going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a trim back, which is going to look pretty intense. Because I don't want it to get too tall and leggy, so maybe this will help it bush out a little bit. Just coming through with my scissors and just cutting right across the top. It's probably going to look pretty rough doing that. You got to remember, we still have a good 6 weeks. So till we can really start planting. My last frost is the end of, or it's middle of March. All right, looking good. Okay, this is all Foxglove with a random petunia down in here. Cut that out real quick. This is all Foxy Foxglove that I started because I killed all of my Foxglove in the fall. I usually start Foxglove in the summer, and then I plant it out in the fall, and then I overwinter it and have blooms. But I didn't get my stuff planted and it all died. So this is a Foxy mix, and I started it on November 18th. And this week we're having a little bit warmer weather, so I'm actually going to be planting a lot of this outside. Foxglove does really well outside in the cold, and I'll have a video coming up on that, but this is all ready to go out. Okay, right here we have some bacopa. This one right here is Snowtopia bacopa. It started on January 8th. Had most of it germinate. It's looking pretty good. Over here we had some damping off issues. This is the Bluetopia bacopa, and I had a whole lot more seedlings. And it's probably hard to tell from the video, but they all rotted and died. And that's partly my fault. You know, my mother-in-law was taking care of everything for me, and she did the best she could. I should have given better directions. Basically, I'm coming through and I'm pouring out all the excess water out of these because I think that they just got way too wet. So, but these are looking really nice. For what it is, I think I'll definitely have enough to do some containers, which I think will be great. These were started once again on January 8th. All right, here's one of my fails, Bells of Ireland. We only got one. Started it on January 4th. I also started some of these winter sowing, so hopefully I have success on that. But I am happy with, I'll take one because that one plant right there will produce a dozen stems of blooms, which will be awesome. So we still got it in the hair. I do think the soil is a little wet as well, so I am going to go ahead and do that out, and hopefully we won't lose this guy to damping off. This right here is a cactus mix that I started from seed, and I started it on November 18th, and it's looking really good. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little cactus seedlings, and they are slow growing, but they are super cute and doing really, really well. I rarely water this. It doesn't like a lot of water. I think it could use just a little bit right now, so I'm going to put, I usually, you know, fill my stuff up like 50% of the way. Don't do that with the cactus. Just put a little bit at the bottom and let that soak up. All right, let's look at some more potential failures. This right here is my Florific Sweet Orange New Guinea Impatiens. And so far we've only had one little guy over here germinate. And I started these on the 8th. I'm going to give them a little bit longer. They can take a while to germinate, but they're not looking great. I do have them on, what do you call it? I do have them on a heating pad. So I think I might go ahead and slide them off the heating pad and see if that makes a difference. We'll try it out. Okay, and then over here are my delphinium, which have not been great. I did have one tiny little seedling right here, but it is died back now. So these have just been a total wash. They were started a long time ago. They have not done well. So I think I'm just going to be done with these because I'm tired of looking at them. But I did have some that I started with winter sowing. So we can go outside and take a look at that. I still feel like I'm on the boat. Okay, lots of success, lots of good stuff. It's easy to be really hard on yourself on the things that don't go well because, of course, the one thing I really wanted to go well, which was the impatiens, the New Guinea impatiens, negatory. It's a learning process. So we'll learn, we'll continue moving forward regarding those. Maybe I'll order some more seeds and start a different variety of impatiens. That would be good. Maybe I'll just go to Dollar Tree and grab some of the impatient seeds from there. Then I can learn on those seeds instead of learning on more expensive seeds, which would be really, really good. But everything's looking really nice. I do need to fertilize, but let me go outside and show you all what's going on with the winter sowing before we fertilize. Okay, so I started the winter sowing, it's maybe like a week and a half ago. And here's my container right here, and you can tell it's doing well. because you can see the moisture inside. And I have not watered this. I'll put the date that I started these below. Have not watered this since I showed you guys, since I did my actual video. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got going. Maybe we'll have something, we'll see. Oh, we do, we've got some stuff. Okay. All right, let's take a look. We've got Russell lupine or lupin. Those are coming up. We've got some sweet pea coming up. Nothing on the milkweed, nothing on the other sweet peas. Verbascum, no. Pacific giants, no. Liatris, we got some coming up on the liatris. Alaska columbine, no. And these Belzer Island, I missed this too. These were all started on January 12th. So today is the 27th for me when I'm recording this. So 2 weeks. Delphinium, Solidago, Motherwort, Black-Eyed Susan, and more milkweed. So we do have some going. And with my method, it's very easy. Like when these really get going, I can take this out, take this container out and pot these up to different containers as needed. But looking really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Oh, I did wanna, yeah. I mean, it's still pretty moist in here. So, and we are this week expecting like 3 inches of rain. So I'm just gonna leave this here. It gets sun most of the day, some shade. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna fall over, y'all. Still on that boat. But that's all looking really good. Like I said, we're about to get about 3 inches of rain. So that will get watered this week naturally. I did mean to check on my ranunculus because we did have some really intense cold weather. Oh, that's looking good. All right, everybody's looking nice in here. Soil's a little bit dry. Might need to run the drip lines. All my drip lines were were shut off and removed from the faucets or the spigots in order to prevent freezing of the pipes. So I need to hook all those back up. It's looking good though. Look how ruffly and happy those are. Nice. All of my Lysianthus. This was all covered up during the really cold snap. We dropped down into the 20s. So this was all covered. Everything's very dead. Looks like my snapdragon sustained some damage from the cold, but this should be fine. I'm gonna leave them like this for now. Hopefully their roots are still okay down here. So I do need to come in here at some point, probably sometime towards the end of February, and do a cut back on them. But lots of them still alive, still doing good. I'm gonna have to sit down after this video. I'm just like, it's crazy. Okay, so fertilizing. I use an Alaskan fish emulsion fertilizer. I bought this guy is going on like its 3rd year, and I actually keep, as I use it, I just add more water into it. So it becomes more and more diluted. It smells terrible. So if you have another option you would prefer, I just put a little dab in here. And we're not gonna be doing like heavy watering on these because these got watered a few days ago. So basically, typically what I would do is put the solution in here, fill it up with water, put a little bit in all the containers, and then go back and add more water to all the containers to dilute it further. However, these have been really well watered. So I'm just gonna be adding a little bit of the solution, just a little bit to each tray and just going with that. So I put that in there and now I'm just gonna fill it up with water. Okay, so I've got this filled up. There's already a little bit of water in some of these containers. Oh, well, don't go over the top like that. So I'm really just putting like a 1/4 inch into each of these. We don't want to over fertilize. All right, and then some of these that are way smaller over here, they don't need to be fertilized yet. They're fine. I add a little bit more. some of my petunias. All right, here we go. And I like to fertilize every couple of weeks. I'm behind on this grouping because I was going to fertilize before I left on the trip, but I didn't want it to smell terrible for my mother-in-law who's staying here with my kids, so I didn't. So I'm about 2 weeks behind, which isn't a massive difference. I mean, if you fertilize once a month on your seedlings, that's probably pretty darn good. But anyway, these are all looking really, really nice. It's going to smell bad for a little bit, but it sure is helpful. Probably the number one thing people forget about caring for their seedlings is fertilizing. It's incredibly important. Okay, and then one last thing I'm going to do a quick cleanup, and then I am going to pull down my seeds and figure out what seeds I want to be starting in the month of February, any potential seeds I want to be starting. I'm just going to go ahead and give you that list in case you are wanting to grow along with me. Okay, so I like to do this towards the end of each month. Go through, pull out anything that I might consider starting, put other seeds away. I really need to do some cleaning up in here. But feeling really good about what I'm going to be starting in February. We're going to be starting a bunch of coleus, which was a huge success last year. I started it a little bit earlier, but it got pretty big pretty quick, so I'm starting a little bit later this year. We're going to be starting black dragon coleus, Wizard J coleus, and we're also going to be starting, I think, a purple Prince alternathera, which is similar to a coleus, which I think would be pretty. And then I think I'm also going to start some Shisho red, which is a Perea, which is very similar to coleus as well. Oh, and Kong scarlet coleus. I'm going to be starting a variety of basils. We're going to start cardinal basil, which is one of my favorite basils to use for cut flowers. And I say that, oh yeah, there's seeds in there. I was like, didn't feel like seeds. We're also going to start red Reuben basil, dark opal basil, and Siam queen basil, which is a smaller variety of the cardinal basil. Oh, and dark opal basil. That seems like a lot of purple basil. We might start less than that. I'm also going to try some cucumbers. We're going to do Space Master 80 cucumber, and one that's a pickling cucumber called Cool Customer. We're also going to start an annual, which is called Joey Lambstail Telotus. Telotus, maybe is the name of it. I've had these for a while. I've been wanting to start them. Kind of pricey on those seeds, but we'll check those out. I'm also going to be starting a variety of eggplants, including Black Beauty, Long Purple, and Pumpkin on a Stick. I'm also going to be starting some new pepper varieties. Peppers are going to be Emerald Giant, Cubanelle, and Poblano. I'm going to start some nasturtium. Nasturtium is going to be the Alaska variety, which is like a variegated, which is really pretty. And then a climbing phoenix variety of nasturtium, which is very cool. I'm going to start some honeywort, kiwi blue honeywort, and this is going to be grown for cut flowers. I'm going to start 2 varieties of straw flower, including vintage white and apricot peach mix, both of which will be grown for cut flowers. I'm going to be starting some asters by request from several of y'all. So we're going to be starting peony apricot, and we're going to be starting peony white. I already did those. All right, that's probably where we're going to be at. So when you're looking at your seeds for February, go ahead and pull them out now. Figure out which ones need cold and moist stratification. If any of them are going to need soaking, go ahead and do your research on this. I'll go in with my journal. Let me grab my journal. Okay, so I will go in with my journal. Oh, also powwow white coneflower. We're going to start that as well. I'm going to go in with my journal, and basically I'll research each of these seeds. I will make a post-it for each seed that will also have the days to maturity, the germination time, and when I should start them. So I'll make one of those for each of them. And then I'll go in and place them when I want to start them in February, which works really, really well for me. I'll then go through and depending on, you know, what I'm writing up. I know I've already done my write-ups on my peppers and eggplants. I do a lot of writing. Okay, like here's my 3 varieties of eggplants. So I've already gone through and I've researched each of the varieties of eggplants, making sure I understand what's needed for starting these from seed and make sure that I have all the information to provide for y'all. Highly encourage, even if you don't want to write it down, just save it on your phone or whatever. Highly encourage you to go document all the information about the seeds prior to starting. Or you can wing it and just work right off what you see on the seeds here. I find that not every packet has all the information I need. So researching really, really helps me out, but it also helps me teach you guys as well. So we are still starting a lot of seeds in February. We'll continue seed starting into March. Take a little bit of a short break and then start again for a bunch of summer flowers, which will be really, really fun. I have a lot of things coming up. I'm going to do a video on how to care for your tools and sharpen your tools. I have a very inexpensive tool that I use to sharpen all my pruners and actually my kitchen knives and things like that, which is great. I'm going to have a video on tabletop garden, creating a tabletop garden for inside during these winter months. I'm also going to be creating a herb garden for February that does well in my area for February. Oh my gosh, I have so many things. I'm super excited. We need to get outside and plant some stuff. We still need to work on the back garden. We have a lot coming up, which I'm really excited. And it feels like spring is just around the corner with my last frost date typically around the middle of March, which is only about 6.5 weeks away. It's crazy, crazy. Safer time is past Easter is what usually people say in this area, but I don't mind taking a little bit of risk. So I'm really excited to get all these going. Looks like I need to be doing a bunch of potting up. Looks like I need to clean up my space in here because it is like crazy time in here. So definitely need to do some work on there. But we will continue just plowing along, going through everything, and hopefully you guys are following along and really enjoying all of these videos. As always, make sure to comment below. Let me know what you're up to. Every time you comment, it helps grow the channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and that you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If TikTok goes dark, you can find me on YouTube Shorts. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.